Hey friends, welcome to a bonus episode of the Sunday Knitting Society podcast. My name is Chelsea and I'm a knitter in Oklahoma City. If this is your first podcast, cool, great. Or first of my podcasts, great. This is not how I normally do them. This is going to be a special episode. And if you want to catch what these normally are like, there are a few you can go back and watch on this channel. But I decided to do a year in review and go through all the sweaters that I knit in 2022. I'm not going to go through accessories. I just don't feel like I have as much to say about them, and I primarily knit sweaters. It's my favorite thing to knit, and I have the most thoughts about my sweaters. So I knit 9 sweaters in 2022. I find it funny or interesting that the very first sweater I'll talk about in a second that I knit in 2022, I hate. I never wear it. I actually wondered if I had given it away and I found it, so I haven't. And as the year has gone on, I've kind of honed in more on what I actually like. And I got the sweaters towards the end of the year were things that I liked a lot more. And the things kind of in the beginning of the year are not quite my favorite, with some exceptions. There are 2 complete failures, in my opinion. Somebody else might not consider them a failure, but I will never wear these sweaters. I don't like them. I might consider giving them away. But I am not going to unravel them. It's not worth it for a reason I will explain. But yeah, so only 2 failures. I have one that I kind of goofed on gauge, and so I'm having to correct that as best I can. But the rest I really like. So I think all in all, that's a win. I find it, so in my group of friends in locally, not you guys, but the friends I'm really close with, it's funny now because if I wear a sweater, they just assume that I knit it, because I do still have some ready to wear sweaters, but I rarely wear them. I don't like the feel of them anymore. So yeah, I still have them just because I feel bad getting rid of them. I have some cashmere sweaters. They don't fit me all that well anymore, but I'm like, maybe someday. But yeah, it's funny. So now if they see me wearing a sweater, they're like, you knit that, didn't you? Yes, I did. But let's get into it. So the first sweater I knit in 2022, I'm trying to look, I have my iPad over here so I can look at my notes. I think I finished this one. Oh, I didn't put a date? Yeah, I did. Okay. I'm obsessive with Ravelry, so I know some people don't like it. I do. I'm too OCD. I have to keep the notes. This was actually a sweater I started earlier in 2021, but I finished it January 3rd of 2022. So it was technically my first sweater of 2022. So it is the Bobby sweater by Pam Allen. It was in a book from Quince & Co. And I took some videos of me trying them on. And so I will kind of put that up so you guys can see how it fits. So this is a drop shoulder striped sweater. It is seamed. I think you're actually technically supposed to seam the body, and I think when I read that, I was like, F that. Not a chance I'm seaming that. So I knit the body and the round. But then when I got up to the sleeves, I did knit them flat. I knit this with, I love the yarn. So this yarn is La Bien-Aimée Felix. The gray color is Bone, I believe. Yeah, Bone. And then the pink color is Cool. And this is actually, that pink is what I'm knitting my niece's birthday sweater in. The yarn is delightful. I love Felix. I find it squishy and comfortable and lovely. But the sweater construction, I don't like. So because these are like, it's a 4 stripe and a 1 stripe. So the pink is a single stripe. And I think when I swatched with this, I even tried doing bigger, like 2 stripes, because the problem when you knit flat and you only do 1 stripe is that you always have to cut your yarn at the end of the stripe, and then you have to reattach the main color. So I had so many ends. Like this whole bit in here was just ends. I don't know if you can still see it. I think I did. Oh no, I didn't. I did not weave in my ends. I think I was so fed up with this at the end that I literally just snipped them. I think I had an idea at this point I was not going to wear this sweater. And then you also have to pick up for your collar, and I just did not do a very neat job of it. I did okay at the flat bits, but like, I don't know what that is. And then it looks okay in the back, but I'm not looking at that part. And I don't think I did a very neat seam either. Like, yeah, the stripes don't line up. And I know this is very OCD. Like, this is probably something that somebody else would not care about, but I do. I just feel like the finishing makes the sweater look sloppy. It's also kind of cropped, and so I think that you can tell that it's a little bit cropped, and I just didn't like how it hit on me. So I have never worn this sweater. I might have worn it once, only to decide that I did not like it. But the problem is, because it has all these ends, you can't really unravel it and reuse the yarn. So it's just sitting in my I usually have it in a tub under my bed. I don't even keep it on the shelf because I'm not going to wear it. I guess I could give it away, but I just haven't. So that's the first one. That was, I would say that one, in my opinion, was a bit of a fail. Not the worst failure. That's coming in a little bit. So the next one I knit is called the Classic, and it is by Espace Tricot. And I knit this in Sweet Fiber yarns. It was the Merino Twist DK, and the colorway was Evergray, which I love. It's a moody navy. It is tonal, and you can tell where I changed skeins. So that kind of annoys me, but not too much, because it is still a variegated sweater. So I think I did start helical knitting in there somewhere. I don't prefer using superwash yarn for sweaters because they're heavy. And so this sweater is like, it will stretch. When you wet block this, it will stretch like crazy. But it's still really soft, and it does, it fits me. I forget to wear it sometimes, actually. I should wear it more, but it's just a basic. It's a raglan. I like a raglan. It's stocking up. I like stocking up. No real complaints with this sweater. I just need to wear it more. So I can't like just throw these down into a pile. I have to fold them. Alrighty. I didn't have a lot to say about that one. Alright. This one was the most exciting. Well, no, this one was an exciting sweater. I don't know if I'd say it's the most exciting, but it's exciting. So this is my Azusena. And this is a pattern that was in the worsted book from La Bien-Aimée. The pattern is by Nadia Chrétien-Lechaine. I'm really sorry if I mispronounced her name. And I knit this in Corey worsted. So my main color was bone. Can you tell I like that color? It's kind of like a oatmeal-y gray, medium gray. It's a warmer gray. It's not a cool gray, which I like. And then my contrast color is Cocu Leco, Flora Morganite, and Hegelia. And I just think this is such a striking sweater. I think the patterning is so pretty on it. It was pretty fun to do. Let's see how good my floats look. Yeah, floats look pretty good. The only beef I have about this sweater is I find this yarn fairly itchy. I can't really wear this next to skin. I have to have a t-shirt or a long sleeve underneath it. I do like that. Otherwise, the fit of the sweater is perfect. I'm not usually a round yoke girl, but I do like it in this one. but it has to be fairly cold for me to wear this just because of the itch factor. So, yeah, it hasn't pilled too bad actually. That's like the first pill I've seen. There's a few of them, but I don't regularly depill my sweaters. Usually the only time I depill my sweaters is if I'm putting it on before going to work or going somewhere, and I'm like, ooh, that looks a little rough. Maybe I should depill that. That's about the only time I do that. So, alrighty, that was fun. I like that sweater. Okay, so next sweater is my fail. This is just an absolute and complete failure, and it's so sad. So I started this sweater in February and I finished it in August. It is the Evenfall sweater by Andrea Mowry. I think this is such a beautiful sweater. It is knit, I think, on a size 4 needle. It is so detailed. So I chose to do, I think in her pattern she does a main color, and then like every 4th row she does a stripe of a different color. I just decided to go with 4 different colors. So I have, these are all, not all. So my main color is Barrett Wool Co. Wisconsin Woolen Spun, and the fingering weight, and it's Rain Shower. I love this yarn. I find this yarn it's just such a unique yarn. Like, it almost looks a little felted, but it has like a springiness to it that, like, you would think it has nylon in it, but it doesn't. I love it. So the yarns I used in this were phenomenal. I have no complaints against the yarns. So yeah, so that was my main color, and then this is Farmer's Daughter Fiber Squish Fingering, and the olive oil, Teresa Pretty Shield, and then this is Isair Alpaca 2, and it's Caramel number 3. So I just striped those the whole way down. So I swatched for this, and then I picked I think I picked a size 5, which is typically what I do with Andrea Mowry, because I tend to be a looser knitter than she is. And I think I got like down here, so like a few increases in, and measured my gauge, and it was much smaller. So I think I actually stopped at that point, wet blocked it, laid it out, and it was still a much tighter gauge than my swatch. So I actually had to go up 2 sizes to a size 7 to get the body to fit. So the body does fit. But then when I knit the sleeves, I don't know if you can even see. No, you can't see it. Sometimes you can see a dip where the tension gets tighter. And this is where I learned the lesson that if you're gonna knit small circumference, go up a needle size, you knit tighter, because, and I'll see the video. I'm sure I've already showed it, but these sleeves are just skin tight on me, and I hate them. When I block this thing, I aggressively block this out, and it just can't fix it. The other thing I did that is just stupid and annoying is that I was tired of this project by the time I got to the hem, and I decided not to go down a needle size for my hem, so now the hem flares. I think, did I do it? No, I did not do. I did a regular bind off. Good. Let's say if I did a tubular bind off on this and it looked that bad, I was going to be very angry. But no, I did a regular bind off. This sweater's just so disappointing because it's so beautiful. I really love the look of this sweater, but it does not fit me. It fits in the body, sort of. It is a little snug for me in the body, a little snugger than I like it to be in the body, but the sleeves are just completely uncomfortable. But this was another one that, because I switched, or the gap between colors was so big, I did not carry my yarn, I cut it. And so this is just a million strands of yarn. So I can't unravel this. Actually, so I'm either going to give this one away to someone with skinnier arms than me, or another thought is I could make a pillow out of it. That is definitely, or a pillow cover out of it. I could also, I don't know. I could do something with it. I'm just gonna have to get over myself and cut into it, and that'll make me sad. But yeah, this one, this is a lot of months worth of effort for a sad result, but that's okay. You live and you learn. I now knit my sleeves on a bigger needle, and I don't have this problem as much anymore. So there's that. Alrighty, let's look at the next one. Okay. So this is the last one that I'm not super happy with, but I'm gonna get happier with it. Let's not lose stitches. And yes, this is still on my needles. It was done, and then I decided to do sweater surgery and botched it and put it in timeout for months. Ooh, sorry. So this is my first Monday sweater. This is a pattern. Oh gosh, I don't know if you can see it. I'll just show you the video. So this is a pattern by Petite Knit, and I love it. I knit this in the Lamb and Kid Todd in the Bowie colorway. It's covered in my hair. This is a little bit wrinkly because it has been squished up into a project bag for the last couple months. So I knit this. I did a 2XL, which was the right size based on my gauge swatch. This is another one where my swatch line. This yarn stretched a lot or grew a lot when I blocked it. So as I was trying it on, as I was knitting it, the fit was perfect. Perfect. I loved it. It was the best. I even did really long ribbing at the cuff. This is long for me. I don't like doing ribbing. I don't hate it, but I don't really like it. And when you're like at the end of a sleeve, you're just like, I just want to be done. So this fit absolutely perfect. And then I blocked it and it grew like 2 sizes. This is, I don't know how much ease this is, but this has a lot of ease for me. The other thing that I kind of talked about on the podcast before is you can see where I joined a new skein because I don't like doing helical knitting while I'm doing short rows. So I did all my short rows and then didn't think about it and joined another yarn and was a couple inches into this next skein and looked and realized there's a dramatic difference. And then I started helical knitting, which you can't see this on the screen as well. I think that has actually faded over time, but there is a stripe to it. You can kind of see it there. Yeah, so it's color blocked and then striped. So I tried to get that out by using really hot water to maybe make the colors bleed, but Lamb and Kid do a very good job of preventing color bleeding or setting their colors. So I can live with the fit of the sweater, but the sleeves were so long on me that I was going to have to roll them to make this sweater fit. And I don't like rolling sleeves on a sweater that I custom knit to fit myself. So I'd heard that you can cut into your knitting, like pick up on either side of where you want to cut, unravel, and then Kitchener them together. So I tried to do that. I probably should have watched a video on how to do that, but I didn't. And so when I started Kitchenering these together, it looked like a Frankenstein. You could see like a very clear line where my stitches had all gotten twisted and it looked terrible. And unfortunately I didn't do it right at the end of the cuff, because I think if it had been on the cuff, I'd have just gone with it. But it was actually like several rows below the cuff. So I was like, fine, okay, let's just stop. I'm just going to unravel the cuff and use that yarn. Well, I've already wet blocked it and I wove in my ends very well, and I used a sewn tubular bind off. That yarn did not want to come apart, or did not want to unravel. And I spent hours trying to unravel that cuff, getting angrier and angrier and angrier. And that's when this went in timeout. And then I remembered I still had another skein of this yarn. So I just gave up on that cuff. It's actually still sitting on my desk, just laughing at me. But I did cake up the other skein of this yarn. But I've been too angry at it to to fix it. So it still is technically on my needles, but it was off my needles. It was done. So I need to do that before the end of sweater season and go in and fix that. But otherwise, the neckline is wider than I like it. But I sewed this thing down. I think I actually started that way, so I knit the ribbing, folded it over, tacked it down, and then kept going with the sweater, and I don't have it in me to pull that out. So we're just gonna go with a wider neckline. But I will finish this at some point, and then I'll get to wear it. The yarn is delightful. I have no complaints against this yarn. It is squishy, it's soft. It has maybe a little bit of a tooth to it, but not much. I could probably wear this next to skin. So, okay, no more failures from that point. So that's good. In fact, this next one, they're all, okay, I can't actually say that. I was gonna say it's one of my favorites, but they're all one of my favorites. This is my Rhinebeck sweater. So my Alpen Glow. This is a pattern by Andrea Mowry. It uses magpie dyed in the skein and spin cycle dyed in the wool. I'm gonna get this correct. So my main color is the dyed in the skein, and it's the Jupiter Rising. I decided not to use the plume or a fuzzy yarn just because I figured up by my neck I was not gonna like that. So my starting color is a little bit bougie. This is Magpie, and then my contrast color is Dead Reckoning. I went through so many possibilities to find this color. It was comical and expensive, but now I get to use that yarn for my shift again. But I love this sweater. I love this yarn. I wore this to Rhinebeck, wore it the whole day at Rhinebeck, and then when I flew home from Rhinebeck, I wore it on the plane. Maybe not the smartest decision, but I was comfy. I do remember getting very hot in it at one point, but I had on like a very skimpy tank top underneath, and I was not about to take this off. So I was just kind of warm, but it was worth it. The yarn is delightful. I don't think I've washed it. It doesn't smell like BO. We're good. It is covered in my hair though. I have not had to depeel this sweater once. Well, okay, now it kind of looks like it. Yeah, there's a little bit, but I just picked it off with my fingers. That's it. I don't know what that sound was. So really, it doesn't, there's a little bit of pilling, but again, it's like in an area where you have lots of rubbing. Oh, that's a loose stitch. I have to fix that. Yeah, lovely sweater. This is, I believe this is mosaic, so it's not as, this actually flew. I thought that would take forever, but I actually really enjoyed that. And I kind of slightly micromanaged my yarn for my sleeves. I don't find that this yarn has a huge, like, noticeable color change. You can see it there a little bit, but I would knit a couple rows, switch sleeves, knit a couple rows, and so I kind of went back and forth on that, which helped a little bit. And then, oh yeah, should show the bottom. So then you have this lovely corrugated ribbing. Oh, I love that. That was really fun at the end. Okay. So I can see what the next one is. I should remember at this point. Okay. Yeah. All right. Oof. Okay, so I took a shower this morning and pulled a muscle in my neck washing my hair. I don't know how I did that. I was just looking up. But apparently I've reached that age where you can, you know, injure yourself shampooing your hair. So if I like, oh, that's why. Oh gosh, this sweater, this yarn attracts fuzz and hair and everything like no one's business. So this was a sweater test that I did. Okay, I'm just gonna give up. It's gonna be covered in hair. You're gonna have to forgive that. So this was the Dartmoor sweater that I knit as a test knit for Kadri. Oh gosh, this thing, I need to use like a lint roller on this sweater. Ugh. I do remember this, that when I first wore it, I spent half my day picking things off this sweater. So this is a drop shoulder sweater with, yeah, it's just with the folded, stop picking things, the folded collar, and then I don't think there was a split hem in it. I don't think there was. I think it was just a regular hem. Long ribbing at the cuff, which I did. And I knit this out of Purl Soho's Worsted Twist in the red plum colorway. I think I did the size extra large. I got very close to gauge. Actually, I think I did make gauge on the sweater. I had to go down a needle size, so I think she knits it on a 10 and I knit it on a 9, or she knits it on a 9, I knit it on an 8. I don't remember which one, but I had to go down one needle size. So that this fabric is dense. It's very soft. It pills. It does. I've worn this sweater so much, but you can see it's like almost felting in there. Yeah, I really need to take a gleaner to this and a lint roller. But this is another one that's heavy. I believe this is superwash. Yeah, it's a very heavy sweater. It's warm. This is like a sweatshirt. So for those of you doing the bougie sweatshirt knit along, this is a good one for that. And this yarn is fantastic for it. I do love this yarn. It's really cozy and soft. It's just maybe a little bit higher maintenance because it felts, or not felts, it pills. And if you didn't knit it in this dark color, just be prepared to be picking things off of you all the time. But otherwise, no complaints. This is a very fun test. We were all in like a group chat and everybody was just so helpful and so encouraging and cheering each other on. I think one of the ladies in our test knit got married during the test knit, and she like posted a photo of herself knitting while getting ready for her wedding, which was really sweet. But it was just fun. It was, if you're ever given an opportunity to test knit for Kadri, I would do it. She was delightful to work with, and it was a really fun project, and now I have a very lovely sweater for it. Okay, 2 more. Okay, so the second to last is my second. Oh my gosh, it's got so much hair on it. I hope you guys can't see all that. I can see it, and I shed quite a bit, but goodness. Okay, this is my second Monday sweater. This is the same pattern as the red one. It's by Petite Knit. So 2 big changes I made on this sweater. I knit down a size. So this is the extra large instead of the 2XL. And I knit this in a much lighter yarn. So, although I wouldn't say, I don't think the Lamb & Kid Todd is heavy, but this is lighter. So this is in Durum Natura. Sorry, it's an obsession. I cannot stop picking hair off of these things. So this is from Durum Natura, the Ulisse base, and the colorway is Biche. This is probably my most worn sweater. I love this thing. I chose to do, I don't remember if she has this in the pattern or not, or if I just did it on both of mine. I like a folded collar. So I did a folded collar. I'm pretty sure I did not do this the recommended way because it gave you like this weird scallop, and I love it. So it's a design element in my sweater. Okay, sorry. Last time it's not, but I'll say it is. So this is, again, just a top-down raglan stockinette stitch. Love it to death. I think I did do, you guys surely can see all that hair, right? Oh my goodness. I had it on the floor. I think that might have been my problem. I don't recall there being this much hair on my sweaters normally. oh well. Um, yeah, so I knit this one. I intentionally, when I was knitting it and I was trying it on, I knit it an inch shorter in the sleeves than I would normally want. And I knit my body a little bit shorter than I would normally want. And when it blocked out, it is perfect. Perfect. I love this sweater so much. This yarn is so nice. It's interesting because to me, to the touch, it is not super wash soft. It does have a little bit of a scratch to it, or maybe like a roughness, maybe not scratch, maybe that's not the right word. It's just got a little roughness to it. But when I actually wear it, it is so soft. It does not itch me at all. And I feel like this thing regulates temperature better than any other of my sweaters. And I don't know why that is. Like, I don't get overheated in this sweater, and I don't feel cold in this sweater. I feel perfectly temperature regulated in this sweater. So I love this. I will be making more of these sweaters in my future. Not sure when, but it'll happen at some point in the future. But this one, yeah, this is definitely my most worn sweater. This is probably my biggest success of the year, I would say. Just because, and I know it's just a boring top-down raglan stockinette stitch sweater in a oatmeal color, but this is my style. This is what I gravitate to sweaters like this. I generally just want to find something basic that I can put over a dress, or with jeans, and I'm not looking for something fussy or something with lots of pattern on it. I love those. They definitely have their place. But sometimes I just want a basic, and this is a delightful basic. Okay, and then the last one, because it's been laying on the floor, it is almost certainly covered in hair, and it's going to be kind of hard to show. So this was my Betwixtmas sweater. I'm going to try to button it. So this is my first cardigan that I've ever knit. I'll show you guys the video over here. This, I knit it in 5 days. I used worsted twist from Pearl Soho in the reed gray colorway. I think that's probably good. And this is the Felix cardigan. So yeah, it's kind of unwieldy. It's hard to show a cardigan because it doesn't want to stay like a sweater. There's some things I love about this sweater, and like one or two I don't like. Yarn, delightful. I love this detail. It's so easy. I find this really easy to memorize, or to read, and so you know what you're supposed to do next, so you don't really have to look at the pattern, which is nice. I can't remember if you, I don't think you pick up. I think I did the collar first and then went into the sweater. What else? So the win for me was when I picked up words. When I picked up my button bands afterward, I actually surprised myself with how good they look. Oh yeah, no, you do this at the end. Sorry. Yeah, that's right. So you knit your button bands up to here, and then you pick up and do your collar afterward. Dang, I did good on that. I'd forgotten that I picked that up. I think that's a really good pickup. I'm not usually very good at picking up stitches, but that looks like I just started with that. Yes. Okay, yeah, so picking up the stitches for my button band, I was very proud of myself because they all were even, they laid flat. I was not expecting that. I really thought I would have to pick up the button band 3 or 4 times. So that was great. The only thing I don't love, oh yeah, and I did, let me do this real quick. So I did also knit button bands, which I'd never done before. And I think I did a pretty good job with the button bands. I've also never sewed on buttons before, so I think I did a pretty good job. These are vintage from Dusty's Vintage Buttons, and I love that color. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so the part I didn't love is this one. This is the main part. So my ribbing just really wanted to, and I wish I'd like cast on an extra stitch out here to kind of even it out so it wasn't so wonky. And actually, it was one of these. I don't think it might have been this one. This part was actually really wonky and like terrible. It looked awful. And I just took my tail there and just stitched it down and tried to like make it not look so obvious. And I think that I actually did a pretty good job on. This one, just, it's not gonna, I tried blocking it out like that. I actually pinned it out, and as soon as I unpinned it, it went so just giving up. The only other thing I don't love about this is I knit my sleeves tighter. You can actually kind of see a dip there, right where my nose is. There's just a little dip where my tension got tighter. So these sleeves don't fit great. They fit. They're definitely better than my Evenfall. They do fit me, but they kind of, because they're a little bit tighter, they kind of pull the sweater down. And so I spend half my day just pulling the sleeves up, which I don't love. And I think also just because the front of the sweater is heavier and it's not, I don't wear it buttoned, it tends to kind of almost like pull out a little bit. So I find that this thing often tries to fall off my shoulders, which I don't love. But considering this was my first cardigan, I'm actually very proud of it. I still wear it frequently. I think when I knit this, I realized how much folding a cardigan is not fun. I'm just gonna throw that over there and fix it later. But yeah, I realized when I knit that cardigan how much I actually love wearing cardigans, and so definitely want more of those in my wardrobe this year. I'm going to make one with the DRK shift again, but I'll have to think about what other cardigans I want to try. I think I would like to try, is it the No Frills cardigan from Petite Knit? I don't want a really long cardigan. I want like a normal sweater length cardigan, but I think I could probably modify the length pretty easily. So we'll see. But that is my 2022 in review sweater edition bonus episode. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'll probably do that every year just because I find it fun to do year in reviews. I like watching them, and I also think it's really good to reflect on what you liked and what you didn't like, because ultimately the goal is to continue to make sweaters that I really like, that fit me well, and that I'm gonna wear on a regular basis. And so if I'm knitting a whole bunch of sweaters that I'm not wearing, then what's the point? I mean, I guess the point is that you're still doing a craft you love, but I really enjoy the part where you get to wear them. You get to actually put them in your wardrobe. So yeah, so probably more stockinette, raglan, top-down sweaters in my future, which is totally fine. I am going to cast on my Lento today, so I swatched for that. That is just going to be delightful. I'm really looking forward to that. So I've never knit a sweater in only fluffy yarn. So that's going to be interesting. I didn't think I was going to like it, but I actually, so I knit my swatch, I washed it, I blocked it, let it dry, and then I just like shoved it down into my bra and walked around my house for a while, just thinking, okay, doing chores, kind of getting a little overheated or worked up, it's going to start itching. I forgot it was there. I completely forgot it was there. I like reached over to like fix my shirt or something, and I felt it, and I was like, oh gosh, I left that thing in there. So no worries about itchiness. That's exciting. It is going to be a little sheer because I actually hit gauge my first try, but it is a little bit, a little sheer. So I'll have to wear something under it, but I still think it'll be fun and pretty. So I'm going to start that today. I'm going to finish my niece's sweater today. I have half a sleeve left, and they're like tiny little sleeves, so they'll go super fast, and then I can get on to other things. Before I go, I also just wanted to say thank you to everyone who made a comment on my last podcast. In the last podcast, I announced that I am going to start really focusing on paying off my student loan debt. I have a lot of it, but I did the math and found out I can pay off my student loans in about a year, kind of depending on other expenses throughout the year. But I think if I really push and cut out pretty much all of my yarn budget and all of my shopping budget and just stick to the things that I need every month, I can do it. And you guys sent so many encouraging messages, and that was really sweet. somebody actually messaged me or sent me a message, and I loved it. She said that she and her husband made a decision to pay off their mortgage, and they were like 1 year away from doing it, so that's awesome. But she tried to reframe her thinking. So instead of not being able to buy things that she wanted to buy, she instead thought that, what a privilege it is to be able to choose where you put your money. And I love that. So I've definitely been in seasons of my life where I didn't have that privilege, where bills ate up my entire paycheck. I don't know why that word was hard for me suddenly. So I've definitely been through periods where I didn't have that privilege, where I knew exactly where that money was going as soon as it hit my bank account. But thankfully right now I do have that luxury to say, I'm going to choose where this money goes, and I'm going to choose to put it against my student loans, and to try to view that as a privilege instead of a punishment. So I'm also trying to be very real with myself and just accept that there are going to be points in this year I'm going to be unhappy about it, that there are going to be times that I'm going to wish I could buy something new and fancy, or buy the new yarn that everybody else is buying to make the project that everybody else is buying or making, but I'm just not going to do it. And I'm going to enjoy the stash that I have. I have lots of projects already lined up for the year, and I'm looking forward to them. So thank you guys for all your support and all your encouragement. And yeah, so it's going to be a good year. Lots of making. Hopefully more sweaters that I really like, and I can have fewer failures at the end of this year. But I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you back in a week for a regular podcast. Bye.